Go for it.
Hello, beautiful. Get your coffee. It's time for Coffee with Matilda, a journey to self. Today, we're having another episode of Fires and Relationships with my dear Salindran, Uplifting Humans. And we have a very interesting topic, which I'm very excited because I really needed this today. Salindran?
This is wonderful. And I'm Cylindrin Buller, your host of Uplifting Humans, where we honor, empower, educate, and inspire the listener with real stories and expert advice. And of course, our subject today is balance in life. And you know what? In this very fast paced, highly stressful world, everyone plays many different roles in their life. Let's face it. Matilda, I know for myself, I'm a daughter, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a grandmother, I'm a full-time worker, I'm a colleague, I'm a friend. And guess what? Life is complicated, and finding balance is pretty much mission impossible. So, yeah, how about you? How do you find
uh,
balance?
Actually, it's interesting. Before I was single, so it was kind of easier to manage single life
Mm-hmm.
because you knew what you want to do and how you want to handle your time. But once you have someone in your life, which can, it's beautiful because you start doing things together. But I think it takes time to align yourself with the concept that there's another person and you're not the only person making decision and making decision and doing it, so
Yeah,
you need to consult with someone and kind of arrange your time around it so it can be more beautiful time together. And I'm finding it a little bit difficult maybe because I'm an only child, so I never had to think about someone else. And now I'm thinking about my partner,
of your
also thinking
family.
about marriage. And I'm
Oh,
thinking, oh my god, like a marriage life, how it's gonna be. So it's I'm going to different steps that I'm not comfortable with, but I know that is the right direction for me. So I'm in my uncomfort zone. But I think it's good to be in your uncomfort zone. So I'm learning to have different hats. Before I
that's
was just a friend, fun friend, maybe close friend, and a daughter and grandchild. Now I'm like different elements are coming to me.
That's right. That's right. Well, the important thing I think out there for the listeners as well, Matilda, is that, balance in life means so many different things to so many different people. I mean, we have to look at balance in life as an internal balance and an external balance, right? So,
Yes.
external balance is really to do with family and work and career and finances and social relationships, all of those things. So they're outside of us. And then of course we have our internal balance, which is all to do with our mind, our heart, our health, everything to do with us and our internal world. And as we've got to make time to balance all these things. And you've got all sorts of things that you are triggered by, and all of a sudden you're starting to realize that the more that your balancing act is becoming more and more complex, because you've got so many more things that you're doing or so many people a part of your circle, all of a sudden having a real commitment to take time out for yourself. A simple thing as taking one simple breath each
Yeah.
hour and just spending that one little quick moment. And when I talk about, internal health, which is the mind, the heart, your health, your spirit, all of those things really also do require your attention. And in this busy, hectic life that we have, we're more focused on our external, and we forget to really focus on our internal. And guess what? It's our internal where it all starts from, and it's our internal which deals with everything, even when it's external. you know and
Mhm.
it's really, really important that one looks at, okay, I need to take accountability here as an individual. How much balance do I have in my life? And if I don't, how do I bring that balance into my life? And, I mean, Matilda, you look at yourself, you're talking about, here I was by myself as, as a spinster, doing everything for myself. And now all of a sudden I have to check in and I have to weigh things out with my partner, with, that significant other. Now imagine that in the mix you have a couple of kids and then you have some other
I
family
don't know how people
relations.
can do that. I don't know. I'm losing myself. I'm saying how I can. I mean, every day I would wake up, I would do my meditate, I would go to work, and I would see my friend. Now all of a sudden everything has changed, and I don't have alone time, and and I have to carve my alone time, which is very interesting
Yeah.
because I never had to carve before. It was there. Um, And also, Salinton, I think this episode for me is very important, and I did some research as
Oh,
well, so it's helping me because right now it's the war between Armenia and, Karabakh and Azerbaijan.
yes.
So Armenians are very, very involved. The diaspora is very involved to,
Yes.
you know, uh, for fundraising, and I mean, we're all nervous and upset, and I'm glued to the news constantly. And actually, I'm realizing that I'm not taking care of myself. I'm constantly feeling I'm getting sick, but I feel like this is the key. I feel guilty to have alone time and take care of myself because I feel like, oh my God, there are people who are in front line, young men and women, that they're fighting for our country and for our freedom as a country, as a nation. So I don't need to, I'm not, I shouldn't take the time for myself. Even that lovely coffee that I really loved in Paris to take it, I feel like, no, I shouldn't go to cafe to take the coffee. And I'm realizing actually how this affects me negatively. And if I go down this road, I'm gonna get a depression, and I'm not good for anyone.
That's right.
So
Right.
I have to take care of me. So tomorrow I'm excited because I'm going to go and have a coffee without any guilt, and a very nice pastry as well, without any guilt. And I'm thinking, mothers, if they have a hectic life, they might feel this way. So if I don't fix this in me to take care of me, no matter what, Matilda comes first, then if I have children and stuff, I will lose myself.
That's
I
right.
think.
Well, it's really interesting. There's a lot to be said about, finding time, because I think that is the key factor. In the days that we had our parents, and their lifestyle was definitely not computer oriented. And so that meant they had a lot more time, in the sense of spending time together doing things, whether it was cooking in the kitchen, maybe they were hanging laundry together on a clothing line. And nowadays, yes, we've got washing machines and dryers in every home, and we've got, air fryers and ovens in every home. So yes, but guess what? Because we have all those things that help us, our life has not slowed down. It's actually gone ahead and taken even more time away from us, because in this age of technology, things are speeding up, and it
Yeah.
requires our focused attention and energy to really slow things down, because things are not going to slow down for us. We have to be able to slow us down. It's reverse. And so I really feel that it's a time that you actually take time, and there's a few key concepts that people have incorporated into their life. Because I mean, I'm sure, Matilda, you probably know, you could probably name off 5 people right off the top of your head who have either stress, anxiety, depression, and the list goes on. And those ailments are all to do with the head.
I have stress and anxiety, and I'm
There
like,
you go.
when I was living in New York, I had a more hectic time, hectic life, but I never had that stress and anxiety because maybe I had alone time and I was taking care of, I was very rigid with the self-care for me.
Yes.
Right now, maybe I'm not, still trying to find my balance, and I'm not finding that self-care routine for me here yet.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe this is the reason I'm not grounded. I feel when you have the balance in your life, you feel grounded. You feel one with universe. And when I feel I'm not one with the universe, that means there's no balance in my system,
Yes.
and I
You know,
can get some diseases, and I don't want that. I
no,
don't want cancer.
no. And it really, you know, Matilda, it really starts with the number one thing, which is not having time for yourself. It
Mm,
starts with not having alone time. That means even going ahead and taking 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening. That means just you quietly sitting, doing absolutely nothing. And to just, you know, being quiet and sitting there and taking long, deep breaths. It could, for other people, mean that you go ahead and you strengthen your mind because you're constantly saying yes to everybody. Maybe you need to strengthen your mind and just say, okay, I'm going to find a way to say no. I am not going to be able to do this because maybe they're not capable of it. For others, it could mean that, you know, they have to really dig deep and figure out, you know, and define what is balance of life? What does that mean to me? And how am I going to be able to get that? Because let's face it, you know, peace, harmony, and just being healthier and happier is very, very important. But if you don't even know that you're on autopilot, you don't even have that capability of starting to figure out how you're going to get there. And then, of course, the last thing is to understand and to deal with what you need to, but now execute a plan which is going to go ahead and allow for you to really, really incorporate, which could mean, Matilda, I know you love your sleep as well, but it could mean that you wake up 15 minutes earlier and give yourself 15 minutes of alone time, just closing your eyes and being with yourself and seeing your day unfold the way you want to.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to take. Well, then that's what you've got to do. You've got to put yourself in the forefront and find balance. What is it inside of me which is out of balance? What is it that is outside of me which is triggering? Maybe my work is taking 75% of my time. Work should not be taking 75% of your time. And then you throw in your relationships and your children and your parents and your friends. And I'll tell you one thing, you're good to nobody, absolutely nobody, when your life starts to fall apart because you're not balanced. When you're not balanced. So the key here is A, define what balance is to you internally and then externally, and then figure out a plan on how you're going to incorporate alone me time. I don't care if that means filling up a soaker tub with some Epsom salts and some candles in the end of the night. Perfect. At least you've pulled your energy back into your field and you're able to go ahead. You know, food is not the only place that you get energy. I want our
I'm
listeners to
recently
know
doing that.
food is not the only place you get energy, folks. I want you to know that. Food is probably, I would say, and if you really truly look at it, food is probably, you know, maybe 20% of where you're getting your energy. The energy comes just like it comes outside on the planet. The energy comes from you being with you and really giving yourself time in nature, giving yourself time in the sun, giving yourself time maybe in the ocean, giving yourself time with anything that isn't sucking the energy out of you. Okay, so you have to understand, you don't just rely on food. Oh, I'll just throw back another cup of coffee because I'm feeling run down and tired. Well, maybe you just need to sit down. Maybe you just need a few glasses of water and a little bit of me time to really evaluate what is truly happening here. Maybe you're on autopilot and running like a robot from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Trust me, you were not given this beautiful life to be like a robot. You were
You know,
given this
not
life to go and
you're
enjoy life a little bit and have some fun.
exactly, Celine, and this robot thing is very interesting. All these months, I haven't had like time to maybe feel my feelings, and some of them are sad, I think, or because I'm going through some changes, so there are some uncertainty inside me, but I didn't have the time maybe to face it. And I liked crying. I like sometimes crying. It like cleanses you, and but I didn't get a chance to even cry because I was constantly doing things or busy with things. And today I had the time to be alone, and I cried, and I was like, wow, what a nice feeling. Because all of these months I wanted to cry, but I didn't cry. Like sometimes there's a saying in Farsi says, even when you want to cry, you have to have a happy heart to cry, or you have to have like a relaxed heart to cry. When you don't have that and constantly go, 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 you don't have the time to digest and to realize, okay, what am I feeling? How am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? So yeah, I cried, and all this stress and kind of maybe anxiety came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm realizing it's how important it is to have me time. I always thought I'm giving myself me time, but khalas, I was giving myself me time because I was alone. Now the mastering part is to give yourself me time when you are with someone, living with someone, and you have different hats to wear. And then you're like, okay, well, there is no me time. How I'm gonna carve it? Now
And
the
and you know what? Do it in the first thing in the morning when you
yeah.
wake up. Just put your alarm on to wake up half an hour early or 15 minutes early, and do it at the end of the night. As don't go and
Mm.
drop dead into bed. Go out there when you still have some energy, and give yourself that last 10 or 15 minutes of the day to yourself. The other things that I wanted to share with the audience out there today is, some people might say, well, I don't mind this go, 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 it's okay, I like it, it's kind of nice because I feel really productive, which is fine. But I want to give you some of the reasons statistically that they have found that having a balance in life is so, so vital and so
Yeah.
important. And so the first thing is that it gives you an improved mood. You're a different person when you have that time and balance for yourself. Okay, so number one is you get an improved mood. Two is it's less stress. There's less stress on your entire physical body, your mental body, your emotional body. It actually is less stressful when there's balance. The third thing is that you have improved health and well-being, which goes without saying. Now imagine someone who's so stressed out and they always have a headache, and now all of a sudden they've got this balance. Well, of course they've got improved health, and of course their well-being. The fourth thing was they're more productive. So if you actually give, now for anyone out there that's a listener that has a business, to give your workers extra time off to break and say, okay, you got your 5 minutes right now, go take your 5 minutes. You know what? They become more efficient, and then they become more productive because they've now been able to relax into going back into that work, whatever it might be. And also you enjoy yourself more because you're balanced. which means, okay, I did my physical activity, I've done my this and that, da, 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 da. Well, all of a sudden you start to enjoy life and enjoy yourself more. And isn't that why we're actually here? And then, of course, you have more time for yourself and more of a social life. Now, those are key elements. More time for yourself and more of a social life. And trust me, there isn't any money in the world that can give you the time that you've been blessed with on this earth. Use it wisely. Balance yourself internally and externally. That's what this life is about. No one can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. Matilda?
It's interesting, Salindra. I realized now that you were talking, I made all my big decisions in life when I had a very balanced routine. And that balanced routine gave me the opportunity to, obviously, to be more with myself. One of the criteria where I was spending more time with myself. I understood about my dreams and what path I want to go. Or sometimes when I have to make certain decisions, important decisions, I really give myself a lot of alone time because I want to feel what I'm feeling and make the right move for me that, is right for that period of my time. So I'm really encouraging people, if they're feeling they're not okay and they're constantly tired, maybe they're not just tired, because maybe they're really needing me time, just aloneness. Their energies dried,
That's
and they need some and the inspiration and motivation and dreaming all comes within you. It's nothing outside. Maybe somebody can inspire you, but everything is inside. And decisions that you need to make, it's when you have this balanced relationship with yourself and then with life in general.
Yeah, and again, we cannot stress enough that really no one can balance your life for you. It's really up to you to be
Mm.
able to balance your life and everything that's coming at you and is also already on your plate. That's all the external stuff. But then there's this internal balance that also has to be fulfilled. And the one that internal balance is even more important than the external. And the reason that the internal is more important is because it's actually gauging and navigating the external. And so, on that note, I'm hoping that some of the listeners did maybe have that inspiration to do a little bit of soul searching and digging and trying to see how much balance do they have and how much balance can they bring into their lives. So, on that note, I'm Cylindra Buller, your host of Uplifting Humans, where we honor, empower, educate, and inspire the listener. Matilda?
And I'm Matilda, host of Coffee with Matilda, a journey to self. Till next time, ciao.